Hello and welcome to another scene for the Living World of Darkness, Changeling, the Dreaming Venue. Today's scene has Baroness Mariposa de Luz, a new arrival to the county, and perspective for the seat of Count or Countess um, uh, of New York City. She's traveling with one of her entourage. She doesn't have a big group of people that she keeps with her, but there is a young she with her. And she slowly arrives, or she does arrive at the outside the
I got a picture.
Okay, the freehold of the free hair or hall.
We brought a baroness to this place.
And she stands outside for a long moment and just sort of takes it in. The young sheep beside her, just sort of looking back and forth nervously between the freehold and the baroness.
William gets out of the head, probably with Misha if Christy you want to be there.
I don't mind waiting inside until you guys, until you get inside.
And William is like, "Oh, hello."
Hello. How are you doing today?
I'm quite fine. How are you?
A little tired, but such as things. You wanted to show me something?
Yes. Would you like to see I wanted to show you the progress of the freehold of free hair, how we are doing things, and maybe we can, talk regarding certain issues.
Yes, that would be fine. Yes.
Please come in.
And she does. She follows him in, but she turns to the young she and she says, "Geki, Anye," and the younger she stands outside of the freehold. And Mariposa will follow William in.
Yeah, we found this place from the hands of a most vile individual named Absent. Not me, but my friends. Absent was killed, and then we found out the treachery of the Baron Isidore, old Baron Isidore here. As you can see, the walls are still in construction.
As it opens up to the theater, which now apparently has, well, for one thing, it has like all the old chairs, which I'm assuming were there, like they're no longer there. The place is clean. It's starting to repair itself because we've started to fix the freehold. Yeah, there's at least some sort of comfortable seating over there, off to the side. Yeah, sitting on one of those chairs actually is Misha, who has a certain hair, like pretty much just kind of hanging out on her, like, like she's kind of like one hand up to help hold it on her shoulder. Like shoulder / upper chest shoulder. You know what I mean? Like right there.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll kind of touch the top of its head just for a second and set her down and stand up as she sees them approach.
Mariposa will give a I recognize you sort of polite nod to Misha.
Yeah, she'll walk forward to stand next to William and just say, Baroness, it's good to see you.
You as well. How has your friend been faring?
Well, as far as I can tell at the moment, she's quite busy.
Well, that's probably for the best. She should hopefully get this whole mess behind her quickly.
I agree. That would be for the best, really.
Such a nice punishment.
She just sort of looks at William. Pardon?
What happened to Shay is such a nice punishment, that's what I say. Clearly, she's sarcastic.
Yeah, she's looking at him like, why would you say something like that even sarcastically? She's giving him like a very like, this is like, justice is not something we laugh at kind of look.
He doesn't get it because he basically represents his dissatisfaction,
Mm-hmm.
and he like shrugs. The Misha, who's my friend and my wolfmate, is going for the council members.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, she says as she turns to Misha.
Thank you. It is the will of the people at this point.
Elections will be tomorrow. I won't be a temporary governor anymore. I will just be a common man.
She just, the common men rarely rise up with such fervor.
Thank you. Would you like to sit? We don't have sadly tea, but water?
Yes, water would be nice, thank you. And she like looks around to see where exactly she should be sitting.
Well, there's several comfortable. We'll just say 4 because that seems a nice, easy, round, number when it comes to chairs.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting over near a wall, and obviously the place does look unfinished, but at least it's clean now.
Mm-hmm.
And there is, of course, a little jackrabbit who's just sort of sitting there, just sort of, just kind of almost napping at this point in one of the chairs.
Mm-hmm.
But Misha will sort of gesture over towards those and just kind of wait for her to go. She is a guest after all.
She'll head over and take a seat. And she has to lean forward a bit because she has those wings of hers.
William will like go and take some water and a couple glasses. And he will like slowly put the glasses down and then pour water for everybody.
Gracias.
No problem.
We can show you more. Yeah, she'll will also sit. She'll kind of move. Misha's pretty small, and the chairs are probably a little bit on the bigger side. So she'll kind of, move Inaba to one side, so she's sitting next to her, and she'll then just kind of look at her and just say, "Well, I can show you a little bit more in a minute. As you can hear, there are Boggins working on framing up walls and things upstairs right now. There's more to this place. The balefire's upstairs."
She nods. It's a good thing to protect these things.
Yes, the Sedley old baron didn't, but we will.
And she gives a short nod.
So, how is the things going on at New York? The Lady Mariposa. I hope everything is fine. I recently heard that you are gonna go for the county as a countess.
It is why I was sent here.
Ah, I had no idea. My apologies.
I make no effort to hide who I am or my purpose.
So do I.
Do you have an objection to my presence?
I do not have any objection to your presence at the moment. But I do not know you, and that's the reason I actually wanted to meet with you. I've heard things about yourself, as much as probably you heard things about me or my friends.
I've had the como se dice? I have done my homework. She says with a like a not a smile, but just sort of a like, yes, I know a bit about you.
I would like to hear what you heard about me.
Well, I would like to hear what you have heard about me first, if you don't mind.
No, not at all. Um, News were strange. I have heard that you have given a freehold to the Nunahai, and commoners were not happy about it, and where you come from.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it caused quite a bit of anger, but I do not want us to be conquistadors to our cousins.
I understand, I think, a little of where you're coming from. That conquistador kind of idea is
I
pretty a
am
big deal to them and to us and to our shared history. My only question, and I'm sorry, William, I just wanted to say one more thing. Um, it's as you have seen and as I have definitely experienced, it is a very rare thing in my personal experience to find commoners who have freeholds. So to have taken away a commoner freehold to give to them is really where I was. Maybe you can enlighten me a little as to your thought process and why not maybe have taken away one of the she ones.
Because this one had belonged to the Nanahi to begin with. It was built on one of their glades. To
See,
simply give them one of mine would not have been sufficient. It would have been an empty gesture. This was theirs. It was never ours.
just like many commoner freeholds who was lost in Cordon's War. As
She gives
William gives the jab, like
she gives a nod. There is
she was.
a there have been many unfortunate decisions made by others of my kith. There has been behaviors that have caused more harm and damage because we refused to change. refusal to change is the path to... And she turns to
Annihilation.
Misha and she says, what is it? The dinosaurs, they're all...
Extinction?
Yes, this.
Look at my academics one at work, guys.
Baroness Mariposa.
Yes.
If you should ask any questions regarding my goals, what I want to do, feel free to ask.
And Misha will hold up her hand a second and just say, before we change the subject, can I ask one more question, Baroness?
And she gives a nod.
What about the commoners who lost the freehold? Were they recompensed in some way?
In my barony, we did not bar the freeholds from visitors. This, and she gestures to the New York behavior. This is new to me.
A breach of a sheet.
Potentially.
Not yours. Those who closes the gates breaches the sheet. Traditionally, we are allowed to give any one day to those who asks, right of safe haven.
Yes, the sort of behavior of waiting for an invitation or starving on the streets seems a bit severe and counterproductive to what we say we want from the dreaming.
We specifically had to get special permission to even enter to use the library.
Ah, más triste, she says and just shakes her head.
We still owe favors for that, for the person who got us in.
Yeah, he probably learned a lot of shit from what we'd achieved anyway, but well, yeah. Baroness, let's
Yes.
say there's in the future that you have become a countess. What would be your vision regarding New York? What would be the new things you would bring, and what would be the unorthodox things that you will bring? I wish to learn all of them so I can make a decision regarding supporting you or not supporting you.
Goodness, you are as upfront as I expected.
Thank you. I will tell you.
Her jaw just dropped during that question, and then she's trying to not laugh because that was really a huge question. Okay.
I have to. William will say, I have to say, I'm quite open, and I expect people to be open with me. Other than how we will understand each other. And as I have said, you will receive none other than honesty, the questions you will ask, unless they're special questions regarding my personal life.
I don't think we need to ask questions about your personal life, William. I think we're fine without that.
Yes, there's plenty of gossip about your personal life that I don't feel I need to waste your time with asking about it.
Yes, it's true that I used to be lover with Leon.
Well, I am sorry for you. She's I believe that my role as a leader is one that must be earned time and time again. It is very easy to say, I am here and I am here to stay. But as you have proven with Isadore...
Oh, see, just give me a second. Just a second, guys.
Ay,
Mom is leaving.
cabron!
Ah!
To fill time, Misha is going to play with her little pet. She's just kind of like toying with one of her ears, you know. Because we have time to fill. It's fine.
Oh no.
Yeah, that sort of fidget response. She's slightly fidgety.
Aw. Well, yeah. Like, I don't know, like, switching from like an OOC, like, hold on. I don't like, oh no, what was I talking about? Because while I'm talking, I can like drown out the sound of my kids in the background of my husband being too loud, but like, hold on, no OOC, like,
But now I can't ignore them anymore.
yeah.
That's funny. But I want to ignore my kids.
I don't. That sounds terrible.
I know it does. I'm just teasing you.
But I do.
Oh my god.
And I'm back.
Welcome back. Okay, let me see if I can slip back into my terrible accent and
Kick its ass.
yes, thank you. I believe that with Isidore was proven, if you are not proving your value as a leader to the people, they will prove their strength in numbers. It is not always easy being the leader. You do not get to make the popular choice. You do not always get to be friends with the people you are trying to make the best choices for. My decision to give that freehold to the Nanahi to which it was taken from was not a popular choice, but it was the right one. And doing so fostered understanding, communication, and cooperation from our cousins. Before, there was none. There was hostility, there was mistrust, anger. I come here and I see the same anger. I see barons overthrown for treachery and ignorance. I see young children given authority that seems overwhelming to them. I see sadness and heartbreak. I hear there was much loss. And that there is much suffering. And it is because your leaders felt that once they had the seat, they did not need to justify their position to you.
They thought it was an ending and not a start.
She gives a nod. I have read about the trial of a individual. Your name was in the transcript quite a bit, she says, looking at William. Objections.
Misha smiles.
Dumbasses need defiance.
Well,
he's still alive. He committed the same crime as a certain other person who was not a she.
My apologies, I'm cutting you off, but he committed worse than what happened.
She nods.
And he was imprisoned.
Well, I cannot say that I would have necessarily chosen the verdict that people were asking for. A strike with cold iron is... It does not just hurt the person being killed, it hurts the person doing the striking. And you cannot ask that of somebody. But justice should have been done, and it should not be done in secret. Justice administered where nobody can see it is not justice.
The Count Malda said was a nice person. It was a bit of a dumb, but nice. I have defied him regarding many things that he has done. I talk shit about him in my speeches a lot. But I am sad that he passed. He was a nice person.
There are many nice people in the world who should not be leaders.
Exactly. So what are the changes you wish to bring?
Changes must be dealt with one step at a time. This barring of freeholds needs to end. This lack of access to...
The dreaming?
She nods, but also the books.
To education and learning.
Yes. There are changelings who do not understand what they are. And this falls on... They say that the responsibility falls to their own kith, but if they fall through the cracks, it falls on the shoulders of us, because they are still our people. How can we say we are sovereign over anything if we cannot protect?
And make sure they're properly educated before they're saved.
She gives a very serious nod. There is a history of injustice, and I alone cannot erase that. But I can move us forward.
Other than reaching your dreamings, what kind of changes you wish to bring?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Other than allowing commoners to reach the dreaming, what kind of changes you wish to bring?
I do not think it is a matter of allowing. It is a matter of allowing sounds like it is my permission to give.
Because it is.
You're a creature of the dreaming as well. It is as much yours as it is mine.
You can say this all you want, but when you become a countess, it is your decision to give it to them. Just because you give it to them, it doesn't make not your decision. The system makes it your decision, the ruler's decision.
The system under me will change. It is not to starve the majority of the population hurts us all.
I agree. Those who become starved starts creating ways of violence.
They get desperate. Kind of like we did when we took this place.
Yes, and they join renters.
They join renters, they begin ravaging. It is poison.
Yes. This is a good accomplishment. What do you want to achieve regarding the change? The I always say that the governments should not scare their people, that the people, the governments should be scared of their people because the people are the one who you work for. You are responsible from those. I have what kind of treatment? What might be seen as unorthodox of your change from our people? Would you think about giving more freeholds to the out? No, he's not going to say outsiders. Sorry, to Nunahai. I understand I'm a bit impatient because that's kind of how I am. I just want to understand your policies that will come if you become the countess.
You are worried I will give this freehold to the Nunhai.
No, I'm not.
She's giving this look of like I don't understand the question.
He's OOC basically asking, what is going to be the change when you come in? What are you going to change? What are you going to keep? What's going to be the policies? Like basically asking a countess, it like right now we have a bunch of dumb stuff and you say you will change them, but like there may be changes that you want to do. And what are those changes? Like, for example, she can say, I'm going to raise a tax. She can say, I'm going to create
Yes,
schools.
I get. Yes, I've been
Okay.
saying stuff. I don't. You're. It's weird that you're asking policies when she's been talking about like opening the library and the freeholds. Those are
True.
policy changes. Damn it,
Yes, that's correct. But William is asking for more.
Gavron.
He doesn't stop. You give him his hand, he will ask for your arm. You know this.
She gives him a look of like a less irritated look than my voice is giving you right now, because she has more patience than I do. Policies must be dealt with as they come. To simply take the seat and apply a large sweep of the sword would be very upsetting. There are people who like some policies, there are people who don't like some policies, and I must look at them and see what works. If they are working for the moment, they may stay. If they stop working, then they must be changed. To ask for me to list everything right away is asking me to be uh, a psychic.
Slavery.
It should not be.
Democratic states.
If they are the will of the people, then that is it is the will of the people. I hope that you will continue to work with me. If I am countess. If I am not, well, have fun with Leon.
What do you think about Leon, Baroness?
There's a saying, if you have nothing good,
If you have nothing nice to say, say nothing at all.
This is the saying.
There are rumors regarding him that no noble where he comes from talks about him.
He's from a different kingdom than I am. I am not one of the nobles who talk about him in California.
May I ask for a connection from you? Maybe a member of House Liam.
Wait, California?
He comes from California, yes.
I might be able to see what I can find out, William. Give me a bit.
Okay. Baroness Mariposa.
Yes. If you, I come from a kingdom that has been out of touch with King David's general whatever is going on with Concordia proper.
His laziness.
It definitely seems very bewildering, some of the choices being made from what I've seen in the city that is closest to where he resides. After all the things I had heard about how grand he was, I was hoping to see an example as opposed to a warning.
It's been a long time since we saw examples. The one example actually stands in front of me.
Oh, see, what's he saying?
One example sits in front of me. He said, I like you and what you did.
What did I do?
You have given things to the Nunahai.
Mm.
I have been politically active in New York for 1 year now. I learned many things regarding the individuals who were here before the settlers arrived.
It is unfortunate what happened to our cousins. And it is even more unfortunate that we had a hand in severing them from the higher hunting grounds.
I have a friend. She told me a lot of stuff that her tribe is having problems. So I respect the choice you made. While sadly it was an unpopular one, which makes your standing against Leon a bit problematic. I have been preaching against the nobility and the she in general for a long time, which kind of works for Leon, I have to say. He already went one of the bars here, acted like our best friend. Me and him, we insult each other quite a lot.
He is somebody who knows how to work the crowd.
Yes, it seems so, but quite honestly, if he was a individual who believed in the good of the people, he wouldn't be a Fiona Noble.
I think the members of House Fiona may disagree with you on that one.
Yeah, members of House Fiona disagrees with a lot of things that I say.
They
One of them
probably
just
agree with
came.
you on others.
Yeah, one of them just came here and said, "Fuck you, William Black," and then get his ass kicked by me in a duel.
She
Well, go on. Sorry.
she just kind of gives a look of like, what?
Yes, he said, "The gauntlet is thrown, motherfucker. I will kick your ass." And then he said, "I'm coming your ass. I'm coming for your ass." In a text to me, talked a lot of shit, William. Blah blah blah. When I told, he cut 6 seconds. I think he got a lot of character development and character growth out of that beating, though.
It is that is an interesting tale. She says finally, just like that is a very like, yeah.
Oops, I'm back.
Yeah, it's fine. She didn't really say much. She just said that's interesting. This this individual, were they a baron? Were they a count?
Squire, pardon. Knight. Then he become a squire.
A
A lot
squire?
of
Did he not
my.
serve somebody?
He was a knight and he was supposed to serve to the Baron Sebastian, and then Baron Sebastian made him a squire.
Why did the baron let him duel you if he did not approve of the behavior?
He was a new baron.
Ike. That means, and what?
Oh,
At the same time,
oh, see, I'm understanding much of what she's saying, by the way.
Okay.
In character, Misha's just like, huh?
Yeah.
at the same time, Baroness, as much as I have right to say what I have, he has a right to say what he wants to say. Traditionally,
There
he
is
has a
the
right to duel me, and the she mostly believes traditionally they have this right, and he tried to use that right, but it didn't go well for him.
what does fighting prove? What does oh,
Nothing.
when there is violence against you, you respond in kind. If there are words against you, you respond with better words. To raise a sword to words says that you have run out of things to say that can defend you.
That sounds a bit like him, since he's the one who challenged William.
There, at the same time, though, as a good leader, you do not let those you are responsible for prove themselves fools under an official means. Dueling suggests provenance, that it is an official stance, that he is not fighting you. But if he had bumped into you on the street and fought you there, that is his personal opinions. But as a duel, an official challenge, that is saying he is fighting for his
Honor?
his liege.
Oh,
Well,
I would not let my Anye, and she says regarding like the person that is staying outside,
outside, yeah.
yeah, fight someone in an official capacity for something I did not also believe in.
thank you.
This is something you should consider. Should your political ambitions ever carry into something long-standing?
My political ambitions is about creating a democracy environment where individual is according what they're born as. But
Are
I
you?
know I am a huge.
You're breaking up real bad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just give it like a minute. Maybe it'll, 30 seconds or something. Give it a second to calm down. Because we're not catching much. We're catching every other syllable.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
William said, "My only goal is democracy, where individuals chosen as a leader."
I didn't catch that either. After the word leader, you faded out again. Oh,
And he might have left on his own to reboot.
Can you guys hear me?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Started leader.
William basically said, I want democracy where leaders are chosen, not selected by what they are.
She gives a nod. Well, ultimately, you're allowed to choose. You are allowed to rebel. And I apologize if my standing and my title offend you. I do believe I am where I am because I am. She says it just because she's being interrupted a lot. She's just like, please. I can understand what you are saying. This is not me telling you you are wrong. It is me saying I have worked to be where I am.
I understand.
Greyhawk does not play around like these individuals. I had to work hard. I had to care for the people underneath me. I was very sad to leave. I loved the people I served.
Oh, see, I just now noticed which house.
Mm-hmm.
Liam, who are typically known as Oathbreakers still, right? I just wanted to check on that.
Yeah, I think that's like their slanderous name.
Right. Okay. I just want to make sure nothing get changed from old to new.
No.
Okay. And she'll nod. There's actually just a tinge of respect in said nod.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll just be like, you had a reputation to prove yourself from, didn't you?
It is what it is, yes. I do not hate my house. We have the reasons we do what we do. We hold dear what we hold dear. But rumor precedes us as a group instead of an individual.
I think Leon has an advantage.
I agree.
I think he can easily lie and manipulate his way.
Leon is very difficult to speak against. To do so makes you look scared. And looking afraid of Leon just makes him look better.
I'm not scared of house cats, I'm sorry.
I would be less glib, she says. It takes her a moment to think of the English word for it. About him. He's very appealing for a reason, and it is not something I agree with.
I'm not gonna lie. I've had a lot of, shall we say, less than desirable experiences with people of your kith. But at the same time, I don't want to choose a leader based on what they were born. Which means that I would much prefer to look at the two candidates based on what they've done, what they've said, and what their goals are when it comes to deciding who I would support myself.
A lot of individuals finds me extremely serious all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I like serious individuals because of that. Baroness Mariposa,
Yes.
I would like to get down on the business with yourself.
You should give some kind of a look of, huh?
Misha, if you agree, which we will probably talk, we will have to talk between ourselves. I believe we can make a deal with Baroness Mariposa.
What deal would you be asking for?
For outlawed slavery in the New York, the things you have said, and one more thing.
I do not make open promises. That is for the foolish. So please.
Exactly.
Misha looks approving. That's a poor choice in your leaders. You don't want them to make that kind of promise.
Have you heard the Changeling Council?
She points to Misha, like the one you are doing here, or do you mean the Parliament of Dreams?
Parliament of Dreams is a parliament that does not have any right to do anything.
Mm.
My apologies, Baroness, but the Commoner King didn't give us any rights. He gave us illusion of rights.
What would you like?
Go on, sorry. I apologize.
She just said, well, what would you like?
We can't turn every barony into a commoner's free state, a democratic state. That will be fool's hope. And it will be quick end of your succession. But we can create changeling councils in every barony and the county.
It's actually a pretty good idea. If everybody in the barony, commoners, she alike, get to vote in people that they believe stand up for their beliefs, who then maybe get, what are you looking at? Giving them a say? Making them advisors to the leaders?
Same thing that we have in the democratic state of Brooklyn. Right to veto their leaders. That is what I ask.
I mean, they'll have to work together to do it, of course.
Exactly. Majority votes. Just like here. And William smiles because that's like a huge thing to ask.
Misha will quickly just look at him and then look to her and be like, I have something I can add into this if you want.
She, if you would like to speak, I will not stop you.
Is it true that you don't know much about Leon?
It is that as I said, speaking against him openly makes it seem like I am afraid of him. It is best that you learn on your own and not from his competition.
Okay. I was just going to offer to share whatever information I can come up with.
And she gives like a short bow of the head of, and puts her hand. No, I know Leon. We traveled together, and we have worked together. She says with like that sort of like, ugh. As you saw at the trial, he is a very difficult opponent.
Okay.
But
Baroness.
yes.
Please go ahead. I apologize. I cut you off enough already.
I do not think that you ask for too much to have a voice to be represented. To send that voice to one that cannot be ignored officially. Uh, I must. I must not make agreements quickly, though. I will. I will think on this before saying my final decision.
There are two places that already allegedly ruled with democracy. Staten Island is a joke. The Bronx may actually be out of this decision because it actually needs a strict leadership, and the leader who leads Bronx is doing everything he can to protect the commoners from the dark trots.
Yes.
This,
It,
please.
it is a mess here.
Queens is in dire need of leadership. Manhattan is in dire need of supervision.
It does feel as though perhaps there might need to be parents there or something.
It seems there
Yes.
were already parents there, were there not?
My sister, who is the Baroness, she's trying to do things and she has good intentions, but good intentions doesn't save her.
Hmm.
I know that you don't wish to make deals immediately. This will take a lot of consideration because while you say that this is not something I don't want to achieve, it is a huge thing to say to the new nobles. But
It is also very disrespectful to immediately jump into an agreement with somebody. It shows a lack of consideration for what they are saying.
true.
I
But
understand. I have no problem with your thinking about it before making any deals.
exactly. If I disrespected you, I apologize. I didn't wish to or
No,
mean to.
there is no disrespect. You have presented your position and your request, and I I speak true when I say I do not find it unreasonable. But again, because of my position and potentially my future position, it is only out of respect for the people that I must actually consider before making an official agreement.
Completely. But I wish to say one last thing regarding this agreement if you wish to hear.
I do.
Remember that fort is our motley? And we have been making a lot of good moves regarding the commoners and trying to save them from tyranny. My friend Misha here is going for a position
Mhm.
in Brooklyn.
So is Hall, actually.
So does Hall. We are known with good intentions. We are known with our stories. Misha is already being seen as champion of Brooklyn. And we have friends who wishes to have more democratically ruled baronies where they can get more power. Now, Leon will play for the people, but will he give this right to the people? I kind of think he won't. So,
Leon,
me, oh, go on. Sorry.
I apologize as well. He is already making friends. It may be best to see what he is offering them so you understand how he plays.
Yes, but I can convince people that you are the better choice for the people than Leon. I can put commoners behind you with the promise, and probably only with the promise of those councils. And it was the only thing I was going to add.
I appreciate that. I would ask that if you are going to speak for me, you speak for me and not for me in against him. It is
You want this to be clean.
I want this to be, yes, about what we are, not this lesser of two evils. It's if you want me to be the countess, if you want to support me, then you should support me. If you want Leon, and she shakes her head, then that is who you should support. If you do not want either of us, then you should say you do not want either of us, or that you want, guess it's the Nino, Sebastian.
Nino.
I mean, there's a lot of individuals who told me you should go to position of count, and I said, I will go for the position of high chancellor, but simply I'm not interested.
It is a lot of work, and you must sincerely care about the people. And there are many nights where you do not sleep.
Do I seem like an individual who doesn't care?
I am not speaking to you. I am speaking to the position.
It is.
It is not one to be taken lightly, and I'm not saying that you are a frivolous individual. I am saying people who simply say you should do this thing. They do not understand the responsibility behind it. They do not know that it is work. They only see it as power.
True. Sebastian. I wonder who convinced him to go for that position.
It's really not hard to figure out, William.
It's stupid. He's a kid.
So is she. Says Misha, who is maybe a few months older.
William takes a deep, long-ass breath. We may work against our friends by working with you. But that's the price we probably will have to pay.
People must be allowed to think for themselves. Sometimes they will think wrong. The position of being a leader means that when you see wrong, regardless of how unpopular it may make you, you say something and you do something. Have you experienced this?
Yes, many times.
Then you know what I mean.
I do. I live with a lot of past choices, Baroness.
She nods.
I have to say, when I first came here, it was very different, but I have a lot of she individuals in my life who I talk with and try to create decent relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you will be one of them, as what you said is very nice. And I really like the attitude.
It is a mutual respect, I feel.
I'm surprised. Not a lot of she respects me.
It is perhaps because of the behavior here in this city.
What did you thought about my speech in the duel between my champion, as he shows people's champion, versus the slave Isidore summoned?
She looks at Misha. I am very glad that you came out of that unharmed.
It was the will of the people, as weird, as strange as that sounds. I had a lot of backing behind me. I just had to have the guts to walk up there and trust it.
And that is a good thing. Your speech was very moving, William. And it is very, very disheartening how much of a disservice has been done to the commoners of New York through their leadership. Their frivolity, their
Obsession with flamingos and brownies.
what is the bird? Yes, that. Oy. And she just shakes her head. Isidore is currently behind bars. He too will soon face justice, but he cannot. It must be done once a new count is appointed.
I would like to share some. Please, Misha, go ahead.
She was just going to add, I hope that the charges include the murder of the Boggins who once owned this freehold.
And the twin brother.
She looks a little thrown off by both of these accusations. I'm sorry. Murder of the Boggins? And who is... And what?
You did not know this?
It was not a part of my briefing, no.
Misha will look at William and be like, where do you keep the journal?
I keep both of them here.
Right.
I will bring them if you want to.
That would be very good. Proof would be important right now.
Yeah. He nods, and William goes towards his room, and he's like, when the Boggin's like, what the fuck are you doing here? He's like, oh, I'm sorry.
While you're doing this, yeah, she's just going to kind of say, when my friends and I came here, we were looking for Absinthe. We had traced him down through a variety of means. We had traced him here. And Miniva was the one who managed to take him out. He had threatened our friend Maxine's life. And, well, he was taken out, and it wasn't that day. It was a couple of days later when William and I met here, and he looked closer. We were obviously very distracted that first day. Mm-hmm. And he found some journals that were left here by a Boggin Motley who once owned this place. And it basically chronicled how there was a Boggin Motley that once owned this place. Mm-hmm. And it was a place of art and a place of gathering. As she sort of gestures around her to the really broken down stage. And, it's obviously a large space. Mm-hmm. And They even held a party here in celebration of Isodor's coming into office. Isidore specifically knew this place. That Absinthe came along, attacked the place, killed the Boggins, and they literally waited for him to send help. None came. We have proof.
And she shakes her head. Who was this Absinthe?
He was a goblin who supplied the bombs that were placed in the freehold of, and she'll say whose ever freehold it was.
She looks very, very upset at this. He let the Thalain take a freehold.
And then supplied a bomb which then was used to try to kill she and commoner alike. Myself and a group of other commoners diffused the bomb while the she ran.
He let
Yes.
the goblins. Did he tell you that the goblin was here? Did he
No.
assist?
No. We found it through our own research. We found where he used to work. Well, not where he used to work, where someone who had made a deal with him used to work. I broke into his computer, and she doesn't even sound apologetic about any of the criminal acts here. I broke into the computer to find out where they lived. We followed that. We found that person dead, but found enough clues to be able to trace him here. We did it. Myself, Minerva, Maxine, and Charles, Sir Carreras.
The
diamond-toothed gentleman.
I know him. I know him well. Well,
Such a nice guy.
He is.
As William enters the room, holding books.
Yes.
He is a. He has his qualities. She says,
"You are so polite." As she looks at her,
she looks a little confused by that. Her meeting with Charles is not the same kind of meeting everybody else has had with him. So
that's fine. I mean,
yeah.
I understand. But yeah, she'll just be like, "You are so polite." And then she'll look at William and be like, "Thank you for getting those. I didn't know where you kept them at." Does William offer them?
You're muted, Amchan.
He might be muted on purpose.
Oh.
Yeah, he basically offers them to the lady.
So she'll look through them, and she opens up the other one, and she looks through it because there's an idea forming in her head about this, an opinion forming.
The murders of these Boggins.
These, she says, and she's like looking through this. He was behind the deaths of the brother. Yes.
As we understand it, yes.
He gives another thing, which is in my blue book posted by Lindsay, that the Isidore is behind Henrik's death.
Who's Henrik?
Twin brother.
Okay. So this brother, and was this connected to the deaths? The ranters?
Someone shot him on the street 8 times.
Because of his, what was it? His connection to
Trin.
It was to scare her off of what she was doing.
And what was she doing?
He was trying to, as far as we understand, he basically tried to break Trin down by killing this guy, killing his twin.
Yes, but what was he trying to stop her from doing?
I believe it had to do with trying to make. It was something to do with Dax, wasn't it? As see, I'm having troubles remembering.
Yes, it was something regarding Dax. You may wish to speak with the Trin. At the same time, basically what happened is that this individual called Isidore wanted to manipulate the ones to do what he wants them to do. It seems he underestimated Trin. He felt the best way to break her down after she is realizing that he's trying to manipulate her to do things is killing her brother. So he executed him.
It seems that there were a lot of violence and murder. A very similar chaotic nature in a very short amount of time, she says, as she looks at both of these. And it is a very strong coincidence that he simply ignored your warnings of the Ranters. You said this, yes? He ignored you?
Yes.
It was him and our friend Maxine who talked to him.
Why would the man who knew what they could do, what their bomb maker could do, because that bomb maker was sitting just miles away in a claimed freehold. This man...
A freehold he specifically knew existed, no less.
She nods. This man let this goblin make this mess.
It's even worse. From what we can tell, he was basically taking pieces of the freehold and feeding it to the balefire to keep it alive.
This is the Thalain. They are broken. But Isidore, she says, she's like picking up these books. This man, it was not his negligence. This shows intent.
Yeah.
This freehold was given to the goblin. And she like closes the books. She looks very angry.
Misha has that moment, that mental click of in her head at that moment, like, and she just looks up, like her jaw drops and then it clenches. Wait.
They were together, you say?
He was working with Absinthe, and this was the price that he paid. He gave those poor Boggins lives to have Absinthe working for him. If anybody deserves Iron Death, it's him. I'm not gonna mince words.
I ask justice as well.
Yes, it is. She's looking like very upset after reading through these like.
So is
journals.
Misha. She never realized that.
These
Does it have the Boggins names in the journals?
I think it does. I don't remember if I gave them in the scene or not, though.
That's fine. I don't necessarily need them right this minute.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, she's looking very, very like not like crying upset, but like fury upset. Like her wings have gone from being in that like down gentle butterfly pose. It's like they're up to give this almost like sort of like aura to her. These shining and translucent things. She that make yourself look bigger in anger, sort of thing.
Oh, Misha's gonna let her have her moment because Misha's pretty much she's just hadn't quite put everything together in her head yet. That's kind of flooring. It's not just like, oh, neglect, I'm going to let them die. It's I physically chose to have them die.
She looks to William. You did not just dethrone an incompetent leader. You have removed a sickness from this barony.
I did it with my friends, but thank you.
And she says, and she looks to both of them, thank you. This man will see justice if I have anything to say about it. There will not be another man hidden in the dark. And this I promise you.
Can I peony that?
Mm-hmm. Need to open a scene.
I mean, we don't necessarily have to. It's not the end of the world if it's only one roll.
Okay, yeah.
This far in, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap. Okay, there's 3.
Okay. She's not trying to hide anything. It's her emotions are, she's livid that this was allowed to happen. And it's not just like a mad at Isidore thing. This is an anger that is something that's kind of been like, you can tell it's kind of like a stacked anger. She's arrived in this place and
there's so much that's coming to light now.
yes, and it's just like, and this was ignored. this obvious, very like obvious to Mariposa anyways, after reading both of them together. Because I think, yeah. So anyways, yeah, she's very, very angry at not just Isidore for his actions, but like Maldicet for not doing something earlier about this, you know?
Angry at the world.
Angry at this city. The city as a whole. She's from a different kingdom that has severed itself from Concordia proper. Her viewpoint on how things should be handled is wildly different from how things are handled here. So yeah, it's kind of that sort of like, how can you even call this a kingdom when this is happening? Like, where this should not have only been recognized by the count, but by Queen Mab or David at this point. The Thalain are not something to be ignored. She's very angry.
And Nisha will just do one of those kind of things and be like, would you like to see the rest of this place before you leave?
And
attempting to change the subject to calm things down a little bit.
She realizes that she's kind of losing her temper, and she takes a couple of deep breaths, and with each breath the wings lower a bit. I apologize. Yes, I would love to see your freehold if that is acceptable to both of you.
That's why we invited you here.
Exactly.
Sort of. It is a work in progress, as you can tell, by hearing all of the sounds upstairs.
I understand. And if you want to give them the piece to work, I understand that as well.
It will only take a few minutes to walk through it. And I'm sure they'll understand. They might be a little grumpy, but you know what do you expect of them anyway, right? And yeah, she'll go ahead and stand and wait for the others to do so.
Yes, Mariposa will stand to follow.
Yeah, and she'll kind of glance to William to see if he wants to do this, but if he doesn't, she's pretty much going to, take her upstairs so she can see, basically it's a lot of empty space with, I mean, it's got, construction dust going on, but there are like walls being framed up at a pretty fast pace, considering we only started like a week ago. And, pretty much as soon as you come up from the stairs, there's the sort of two-sided balefire thing. That's the one thing that is secure in the place, Everything else is kind of a work in progress. There's that one thing. And she'll kind of walk through and sort of, explain the idea of the whole thing, just kind of like a communal sort of living area with various bedrooms, with the obvious caveat that we don't intend to like stay here constantly for obvious reasons. It's just sometimes we do need to. And that there's extra rooms here for if people need somewhere to stay, etc. Because she's the one who made all the plans for this place. She's the one who could probably talk it up. And yeah, it's all very, it's just kind of a polite giving her time and herself time as well to kind of really consider what the hell that really means. You know what I mean? Unless William wants to add something to this. And William is muted.
I'm fine. We can end the scene here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, afterwards, Mariposa, she'll be respectful through the whole thing. I'm like, oh, this is very nice. But yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, afterwards she'll leave with the parting words that she will get back to them on her decision.
See you later, Baroness.
I do hope so. And she'll come out and Anya will like call a cab for them.
Yeah, she'll look at both of them and say thank you both for coming. Like Misha's not going to not acknowledge this other person who is a person, in fact.
Yes. This is the other person that came with Mariposa. This is Anya. She's wide-eyed, like, oh, yeah, thank you.
How are you?
Like, yeah, she'll just be like, next time if you want to see, you can come. We'll show you as well.
Oh, well, we didn't want to seem like we were trying to show like a. How do you say it, Mariposa? We didn't want to seem like we were trying to dominate the place with our presence.
That's kind of hard to do when we're inside. As he, like William, kind of like laughs, and then he says, "Like, who are you?" As he looks at Anya.
She holds out her hand to shake. Anya Cassidy, ni I will. She says with a smile, and I just arrived. I'm sorry, I haven't quite made the rounds to get to know people, but I will. I'll get to know.
And Black.
Nice to meet you. I've heard some. I've read. I've read your speeches. You have such a way with words.
He does, doesn't he? Hi, I'm Misha. And she just offers a perfectly normal hand to just, very commoner. Just shake her
blushes. Really blushes. Like, oh, thank you.
Misha, are we first standing outside? Like, Misha's going to pull her phone out and try to snap a photo.
Of who?
Of William. Blushing.
Okay. Okay. I was like, She would think it's really weird if you were just like, oh, now I'm going to take a picture. I'd be like, why?
No, William.
Really weird as well, but yeah, he just lets it, let Misha be Misha. It's fine.
Yeah.
She just snaps a picture, grins, and puts it back in her pocket. But
nice to meet you, Misha. Anya, as I said, sorry.
I heard you. You were good. You're welcome here anytime.
Thank you. It's very because she's only been on the outside. Very nice.
If you
Misha just looks at that, starts laughing.
if you need any education, like not boring stuff that she teaches, you can always be welcome here. It's fine.
Oh,
Misha looks a little confused at that, but
yeah, so does Anya.
Sword fighting, history, stuff like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not much for fighting. I'm much better with words, and I try to sort of talk myself out of my problems.
It's kind of hard when someone, throwing punches when you try to talk, but it's up to you.
Oh,
let's hope that's not a scenario that needs to be dealt with her.
Well,
anyway, thank you both for coming.
See you later.
Yes, and the cab will arrive, and Anya's going to give a friendly wave, just and then like also a sort of like a curtsy to William, who's acting governor.
You don't. Immediately he will cut off. Immediately.
Don't.
No.
It already happened. She did the curtsy and then got in the cab.
He's gonna be like, if I see that you do that shit again, it's gonna be bad. Don't.
She just gives a look of like, I did what I have to do. And the Baroness will get in after her, but like before she closes the door. Thank you for having us.
No problem.
Have a good day, both of you.
Thank you. And that's where we'll end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching, and we'll see you next time.